Okay. I can still just go?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, lovebirds, and welcome to a very special Valentine's Day edition of Not Your Mom's Kitchen. My name is Kelly, and we'd like to be your Valentine. So, even if you don't have a honey on this fake-ass holiday, it doesn't matter. We're just here for the weed and the cupcakes. And these cupcakes are sure to make your heart go pitter-pat, pitter-pat. Because they're soft, they're moist, they're red velvet cupcakes with a sensuous, silky, cream cheese frosting. You heard me. Red velvet cupcakes with a cream cheese frosting. I don't have to explain what they are. You know them. You love them. So let's just get into it and gather our ingredients. First things first, we need 1 2/3 cup all-purpose flour. We need 4 teaspoons of cocoa powder for just a little whisper of chocolate, because as we all know, red velvet cupcakes are secretly chocolate cupcakes. Shh, don't tell anyone. And then we need 1 cup of sugar. And in this cute little bowl, we have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and a full teaspoon of baking powder. Now, next, we need our softened butter. So we need 3/4 cup total. Again, this is your opportunity to infuse. So I'm doing about a 1-to-1 ratio here. I have about 3 ounces of canna butter and 3 ounces of regular unsalted butter. We're gonna have about 14 to 12 cupcakes, so plan your dosing accordingly and do whatever your little cute self would like. This is what I'm going for. Next, we need 3 room temperature eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 3/4 cup of buttermilk, and then of course, our red food coloring. The amount, again, is gonna kind of be up to you, because, you know, if you want a super intensely red cupcake, use a little more. If you just want like a cute little pink cupcake, use a little less. I'm probably gonna use this whole vial, which is gonna be about a tablespoon, but I have a little extra in case I wanna intensify the color. Now, these are the ingredients for the frosting. We're gonna need an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. We need a 1/2 cup of softened unsalted butter, full stick there, 1 additional teaspoon of vanilla, 3 cups of beautiful powdered sugar, and then a nice hefty pinch of salt. It'll end up being about 1/8 of the teaspoon, but I always feel kind of silly saying that because it seems like such a teeny amount. So just give it a pinch, she's good to go. Now let's get these frosting ingredients out of the way so we can make room for the cupcakes. So we're gonna do things a little bit differently this time. Normally, a lot of the first step you'll see in baking is to cream the butter and sugar, but our sugar this time is gonna be friends with our dry ingredients. So we wanna whisk together all of the dry ingredients. So we're going flour, our salt, baking soda, baking powder, sugar. We all love sugar, am I right? And then we have our beautiful cocoa powder. Can't forget her. Throw her into the mix, and then we'll just whisk. Give her a little whisk. Make sure she's all evenly mixed together. This bowl's a little small. It's all good, you know, we don't discriminate against sizes here. So we're gonna give her a chance to mix it all together. Ooh, yeah. Make sure it's all evenly in there, because the idea is we wanna prevent any clumping, right? So we'll get all these little cuties together. All right, kittens and friends, that looks pretty good. So let's get these empty bowls out of the way and make room for our delicious wet ingredients, moist ingredients. So here we have buttermilk. So I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret about the buttermilk, since it's kind of a weird ingredient that not everyone has on hand. You can turn your regular everyday milk into buttermilk with a little bit of vinegar or lemon juice. So what you're gonna do is take your 3/4 cup of regular milk, add a teaspoon of white vinegar or lemon juice, and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then bam, you have buttermilk. Isn't that fun? Okay, cool, so let's keep it moving. Now we're gonna add in our butter, and we're gonna actually mix all this together. And so that's part of the reason why it's super important that your butter is soft, right? Because it's not gonna really wanna mix into these wet ingredients, and so it's gonna be a little lumpy, and that's totally fine. Put the vanilla in here too, and we're in fact gonna go ahead and do the eggs as well. So crack these little cuties in. Woo! And this part, yeah, it's gonna be a little tricky. Like I said, the butter is not really gonna want to mix in here, so you know, rough her up a little bit. It's a little lumpy, but it's totally fine. You might even be able to get this a little bit smoother than I am if your butter is a little bit softer. But it will start to get a little less lumpy once we incorporate our beautiful dry ingredients. So let's go ahead and toss these cuties in. Oh yeah, cupcake party. Once you get her going, these lumps will slowly start to come out. So just keep going until it's as smooth as you'd like it to be. Little chunks of butter aren't a big deal, but you know, we want to get her as smooth as possible. And then we still have to put the food coloring in. So we're gonna keep beating her, which is probably the least romantic thing I've said. We're gonna keep beating her until I get the consistency I want. You know, like I said, a couple lumps aren't bad, but we do want it to be rather smooth. Now for the fun part, kids. Let's make her red. Ooh yeah, look at that beautiful, intense color. We love to see it. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this whole vial, see what it looks like, and then I may add a little bit more. So squeeze her in, drippity drop by drippity drop. Is looking pretty dang good to me, kids. Yeah, I'm just doing a couple little mixes. But yeah, that looks about right. I'm happy with that. And now for the exciting part, let's grab our cupcake tins and liners. So, liners, tins, and let's grab a little spoon so we can dump in the batter as well. So, get these all lined up with some fun little liners. So like I said, we're gonna end up with about 12 to 14, maybe 15 if you don't fill them that high. So I'm gonna start with this dozen here, and then once I pull out one batch, I'll fill in the last two. So when you fill up your cupcakes, you wanna make sure that they're about 2/3 to 3/4 full. So that's probably gonna be about 3 or 4 spoonfuls in here. Ah yes, yeah, another spoonful for sure. Yeah, that looks about right. 3/4 full, 2/3. And because they're gonna rise a little bit, we want them to come just to the top of the liner once we're finished with them. And look at that beautiful red color. Okay, I cleaned up these little guys, so the first 6 are ready to go in the oven. My oven has been preheated to 350 low lovely degrees, and they're gonna go in for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the center looks set, it's not jiggly anymore, and a toothpick comes out clean. So let's put them in. Good night, little babies. And then we'll just finish the remaining 6 here. I'll wait for one of these batches to finish and do the last 2 little ones. And as soon as we get that done, it's time to smoke, hey! So our first batch of cupcakes are out of the oven. Second one are in the oven doing their thing. So while that's all going on, we are gonna go ahead and make our cream cheese frosting. So we'll start with our 3 cups of powdered sugar, our 8-ounce block of cream cheese, half a cup of softened unsalted butter. Now, if you want to get crazy, you can infuse the frosting as well, but you know, that's up to you. That's if you want to get crazy. And then we'll put in a teaspoon of vanilla, and then our hefty pinch of salt. Hefty. That feels pretty hefty to me. Marvelous. And so then I'm actually gonna take a fork. I know it's a primitive tool, but sometimes it's just the best thing. Get in here and just kind of piece these little pieces apart. Beat them up a little bit. That seems to be the trend today. Until it eventually, I know it's hard to believe it, but eventually this is gonna start to look like a frosting. So we'll just keep turning her around, mixing her up, and getting in there until this resembles a frosting. And if you need a little bit more sugar, you can totally add it until you get the texture you want. We want this to not be super stiff. We're not like coating the side of the cake, but we want it to be soft enough that it's still gonna come out of the piping bag or easily spread over top of our cupcakes. So we'll just keep twisting her and getting in there. And now that the frosting has already pretty much come together, I'm gonna finish it off with a whisk to make it nice and smooth. Now that our frosting is nice and smooth and our first batch of cupcakes are nice and cool and our second batch are back here cooling off doing their thing, we are gonna go ahead and frost some. So if you have a piping bag, grab it. If you have a butter knife and you just wanna slather the icing on there, go for it. If you wanna do something a little in the middle, grab a plastic bag and follow me. Plastic bag. The bigger the better. I have a gallon one here, but you can use a quart, whatever you have on hand. Also gonna need a pair of handy dandy scissors and a cup. You can do it without the cup, but I'm pretty certain we all have a cup. So what you're first gonna do is fold down the sides here, maybe 2 or 3 times. Again, it's gonna kind of depend what size bag you have. I have a gallon, so you know I have a little bit of freedom to do as I please. And then we're gonna kind of encourage it into this cup because that's eventually the corner we want it to go into. Voila, that gives us a good place to start. And so then you're gonna take your frosting and just put it right on in this little cup. And kind of clean it off as you go. And this is gonna be kind of like a makeshift piping bag. We'll be able to do some cute little designs. We'll be able now to just lift this straight out of the cup. It'll already kind of be in the corner. But we'll encourage it further down in there, give her a little twist, and bam! You have kind of a makeshift piping bag. Isn't she cute? And so next, our final step, we're gonna just cut off a little bit of that tip so that we can make the actual designs. The bigger of a hole you make, the thicker the piping is gonna be. So if you want something really cute and intricate, cut off just a little bit. And you know, you can always go bigger, you can't go smaller. So have that in mind. I'm just gonna go for it and do like, that much looks good to me. It's gonna be a little bit bigger. Ooh. Almost came right on now. Now you can decide what design you want to do. I kind of like to do a stripy pattern because I feel like it's kind of artsy, it's kind of cool. And the angle you take is gonna affect what the final result looks like. So I'm kind of going straight above with a steady pressure to kind of give it this fun like ribbon look. Might not be for everyone, I kind of like it, but if you want to do a classic swirl, you can totally do that too. I'm just gonna do mine all uniform. Go as slow or as fast as you need. And they don't have to be, you know, exactly cookie cutter the same. Make them individual, make them fun, put a little heart on them, dip them in sprinkles. Whatever you want to do. I also don't love a ton of frosting on mine, so I don't mind if some of the pieces are a little bit naked. Ooh, naked. And see how the frosting just beautifully holds its shape. It's the perfect texture. Silky smooth. And just make sure not to go too fast. You don't want to have any air bubbles in there. Or if you do have any air bubbles, it's not going to mess up your beautiful design, or it won't be as noticeable. Ooh la la. These look just good enough to eat. Can't wait to eat it. Ooh, yeah. Unfold it here, we see, oh, look at that. Beautiful red color. Take a little bite. This cupcake right here, that's fucking delicious. So, there you have it, kids. If this doesn't make your Valentine's Day happy, I can't help you. I say make this for yourself. Make it for your loved ones. Make it any time of the year. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this cupcake. And please join us next time for another episode of Not Your Mom's Kitchen. Stay blessed, never stressed.